If you have suffered a loss, then of course my thoughts are with you, because that's terrible. But unfortunately, you have to kind of also sprinkle with the reality and realize that it's going to happen to everybody. Everyone passes away. Everyone has to deal with that at some point, and it's very important for you to shoulder that responsibility and push forward. All right. Today I want to talk to you about something quite personal and hurtful, and I want to help you understand, what do you do if you lose someone that you love who's close to you while you're trying to build an online business as a blogger or a YouTuber, and how do you overcome that? And what do you do to make sure that your business doesn't stop, that you don't give up on your dreams, and that you're able to overcome this hurdle? Because now that I've had tens of thousands of students come through my course inside Taking Action Online, most of my students are older. Most of my students are sort of 50 plus, okay? And that means that most of my students, unfortunately, are dealing with either health issues or the big one, which is bereavement. Either their spouse or their sisters or brothers or cousins and nephews and whatever, they pass away in some form or another, either from health issues, an accident, or just, life, right? So how do you overcome that? How can you keep building a business even when or if a loved one disappears, passes away, or is no longer in your life? Obviously, this here is a very difficult topic because everyone deals with grief differently, but I can give you some perspective here based on my last 12 years online and having tens of thousands of students and literally watching hundreds, if not thousands of them quit or battle through and overcome this problem of dealing with bereavement while building a business. Okay, so keep watching. So obviously, guys, first of all, if you have lost somebody that you love, then there's no words that can just heal that wound. There's nothing can be done to heal that broken heart. And so the first thing you do, obviously, is take a time out, okay? Take a time out, a week, 2 weeks, a month, whatever you need to deal with whatever's happened in your life, because that's number one. Probably, I'm not a psychologist, obviously, but I would probably guess that the worst thing you can do is just to ignore it and just keep working to keep yourself busy. I think it's probably best to deal with the problem as you see it, okay? Because whenever you lose somebody, then there is a big void that you need to fill, and I think trying to deal with it first is important. Now, that comes with a caveat. How long is too long? Right? Because if, let's say, your wife or your husband passes away tomorrow, how long are you going to mourn for before you get back to your business? I can't answer that, obviously, but make sure it's not too long, because I'm sure if you were to sit down with the person who passed away and ask them, "You're dead, I'm heartbroken, I'm so distracted, I can't build my business," what do you think that person would say to you, right? If they could speak to you, do you think they would say, "Oh, good, you should suffer"? No, they would not, right? They would say, "I'm sorry to hear that, but I want you to be happy. I want you to move forward. I want you to build your business, because this business can set you free from whatever your goal is in life." Okay, so try and have that conversation with yourself and pretend that you're talking to the person who you lost. Because unfortunately, what I've seen in the past is that people become so heartbroken, and so lost, and so confused, and so just distracted by that process of grieving that they just give up on everything, really. And it means that everything stops, okay? And that, I'm sure you can agree, is literally the last thing your partner or friend or cousin, nephew, sister, brother, husband, wife, that's the last thing they would want for you. They would not want your life to stop, okay? So here's what I would recommend, and here's what I'm going to do when I come to deal with the same problem, okay? Take 2 weeks off and just be with your family and do family stuff and do the thing you have to do to deal with the initial aftermath of the person passing away. Take 2-3 weeks off, and then make sure you make an active attempt to come back and do it for the person who passed away, okay? A little bit for yourself so you can get back on a horse, but do it for the person who passed away. Use them as the inspiration for you to keep going. Otherwise, what's the alternative? The alternative is you sitting, heartbroken, stopping, and nothing happens. And that means if you go back to the original intent of you building a business in the first place, what was that? It was personal freedom, financial freedom, just freedom across everything you know and think about, right? And the ability to do what you want to do when you want to do it, right? Basically all the same thing, right? And I'm sure when you started your business, I'm sure your partner or friend or husband, wife, whoever passed away, I'm sure they loved that idea of that freedom. And so why give up on that? Just because they're gone when you're still here, okay? So do it for them. Do it for the memory. Do it for you. Do it so you can continue down that path. Otherwise, what happens is Nothing. Okay. So if you have suffered a loss, then of course my thoughts are with you, because that's terrible. But unfortunately, you have to kind of also sprinkle with the reality and realize that it's going to happen to everybody. Everyone passes away. Everyone has to deal with that at some point, and it's very important for you to shoulder that responsibility and push forward. All right. But at the same time, take a little bit of time off. Okay. So you step away. So you don't do anything silly online. So you don't. You need some time to deal with all the admin, for example, and your family and friends and the funeral and just grieving and being alone and just clearing your head. Right? Do whatever you have to do. Right? But have a conversation with yourself and the person you lost, and just ask them, when should I return to my business, my blog, whatever, because I can't leave forever. And just imagine what they would tell you, right? Based on your relationship with them. And I'm fairly certain, I would reckon probably a 90+% chance that person would say, thank you for thinking of me. Now shut up and go back to work, you dummy, because I don't want you to suffer. Okay? And that's what you do, right? So if you have had a recent bereavement, my thoughts are with you. I'm really sorry. But all I can say is just get back on the horse as soon as you can. Just get on with it. Otherwise, the alternative is nothing. Get back on the horse. Keep pushing, and I'll see you inside the community. Okay, guys? Cheers.